6:37 on the Morning Majority. It's Brian Neiman, Tony Blankley, and Mary Walter. Another round of bombing in Libya. Obviously, a lot of debate about the no-fly zone here in the U.S. How is it playing out in Libya? ABC's Alex MARQUARDT joins us now from Benghazi. Alex, what has been the reaction from Libyans?
Well, there's very little debate in this part of the country. I am in the east, which is rebel territory, as you know, and there have been jubilant celebrations since it was announced. Yesterday, we went out and there was a demonstration in the street. There was a huge French flag. The French have spearheaded the coalition efforts in this part of the country. Lots of chants for President Nicolas Sarkozy. The rebels they paraded a big Gaddafi forces tank into town. So there's a lot of celebration. But at the same time, there is a lot of hesitation. There is this change in tide. It's a big morale boost. But there are also a lot of uncertain days ahead, and the fight's still on. So it's early days yet.
Alex, let me ask you a question. There's a lot of talk in the press here in Washington that this could be moving towards a stalemate. How do you judge the likelihood of that, as opposed to something more definitive occurring?
Well, it's certainly something that looms large. I mean, the international military intervention has given a boost to these troops, and it has, as they say, leveled the playing field, allowing them to fight on the level of, say, gun versus gun, as opposed to the fighter jets and the tanks that they were fighting against. That said, it is a very, very disorganized force. It's an under-trained force. It's an under-equipped force. So it's not like because the international community is intervening, these guys will just be able to blow all the way to Tripoli and oust Gaddafi. All it means is that there is, as they say, this level playing field. So the possibility of a stalemate is very high. They certainly have to, for lack of a better phrase, get their act together, because there is a lot of disorganization.
Let me ask, there's some rumors that either we or the Saudis are on the ground trying to give the rebels some training in how to lead the rebellion. Is there any evidence of that?
There were also rumors that the Brits and the Italians were on the ground as well. We asked the number two, this man named Mr. Goga, over at the National Libyan Council, which is the opposition council, yesterday. He denied it. He said there are no foreign forces on the ground. Of course, the Libyans themselves have said we do not want any foreign troops on the ground. However, they did say they are getting weapons from Arab countries, not the U.S., but Arab countries, and that's not just weapons, which includes small
Do they not even want trainers?
Like night vision goggles.
Sorry? They don't even want trainers, when you say, as opposed to fighting troops?
Well, it depends who you ask. I mean, if you ask the rebels on the front lines, they're going to say, yes, we want essentially all the help we can get. But they are very clear that they don't want foreign troops here, foreign boots on the ground. So they will take coalition precision airstrikes and this no-fly zone.
Yeah, Alex, the London Telegraph is reporting that a U.S. fighter jet crashed. Do you have any more details on that?
We're just seeing those reports as well. The reporter from the Telegraph has been reporting here in eastern Libya. We're getting further reports from the Reuters news agency that the first pilot has been saved by rebel forces, that they're going out to get the second crew member. But beyond that, this is very new information.
All right, I know you got to go, but can you quickly describe what a typical rebel is like? What are they about? What do they want?
A typical rebel, 80% of this rebel force are civilian volunteers. So essentially the man on the street, engineers, doctors, students, and they are people who are simply passionate about their country. And if there's one thing you can say about these fighters, that they do have a lot of heart. So these are people who say they are willing to die for their country because they've been living under a dictatorship for 40 years and don't feel like they've had any sense of a real life, and they say they just want what we want, which is what we have, rather, which is freedom and democracy.
Alex, great to talk to you. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Alex MARQUARDT, ABC News correspondent in Benghazi right now. So he makes it sound like the people, at least the rebels where he is in Benghazi, which have been hit hard from Gaddafi, are very happy to see the support from the UN, from the U.S., and obviously the French.
Which they probably are, and I think it sounds great. You know, they're doctors, they're students, they're this, they're that, these people who just want freedom. But if they're not organized, there's a power vacuum that's going to be left for an organized group that may not be as friendly to the West as we would like them to be, to just move in. And yet it's it's happened before. We saw it with the Shah, when we got rid of the Shah.
Well, the problem still is that Gaddafi can dig in. and he can go away in hiding and he can stay around, and if he isn't taken out by the bombing runs and things like that, then what happens? Is there a stalemate? Does the civil war go on? And when do we leave? When does the UN leave? Do we put any troops on the ground? That's when it can get ugly if Gaddafi sticks around.
Well, that's why it's puzzling when the president says that we're going to get out of this more or less in days rather than weeks. Clearly no one else is capable of sustaining anything there other than us. I mean, and if in fact this is going to be more or less it, what was this all about, Alfie? I mean, it's just bizarre to think that we would walk away from this condition, and it would be an appalling failure, as seen by the world, of American efforts.
Is it all about softening up Gaddafi so it gives the rebels more of a chance to take over?
George Herbert Walker Bush sort of made a similar mistake after the first Gulf War. He figured that Saddam was sufficiently embarrassed by us kicking him out of Kuwait that he would fall naturally. He didn't fall, and there would be the same mistake that this president